Hello, algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and after today's lesson, you're going to be able to say I can factor trinomials, at least some of the trinomials. You won't be able to do them all yet, but we're going to get there. Now, let's review really quick. First of all, we learned how to factor. Remember, the big F word is factoring by GCF, and we're always going to try the GCF first, right? I want to emphasize we always try the GCF first. Okay. 2, we're going to do grouping. Grouping. When do we do grouping? When there are 4 terms. The third type of factoring we learned was the difference of perfect squares. Remember, it has to be a binomial, meaning 2 terms, and it has to be a perfect square minus a perfect square. It could also be, the negative of a perfect square plus a perfect square, because that would be a subtraction problem in disguise, right? Okay, and then today we're going to learn about trinomials, and specifically when the lead coefficient is 1. All right, hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. My pet kangaroo ran away, but I have him corralled and under lock and key, and we're all good to go. All right, now look at problem number 1 here. We have a trinomial, right? And first thing I look and see if there's a GCF, and I have an x that's common to the first 2 terms, but it's not common to the 6. So I do not have a GCF other than 1. So my lead coefficient is 1. If you want, you can put a 1 there if you want to. Don't have to. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to list the factors of 6. Okay, 1, 6, 2, and 3. And notice I list them in order. I start with 1, and I go to 2, and then when I meet in the middle, I know I'm done. Okay, I'll explain more about that in a minute. Now, because the 6 is positive, the last term is positive, I'm going to add 2 of these factors to get this middle number. Well, wouldn't that be 2 plus 3? A positive 2 and a positive 3? Wouldn't that give me 5? Remember, because the last term is positive, I'm going to add 2 of the factors of 6 to get the middle coefficient. Watch how simply this factors. X plus 2 as a quantity and x plus 3 as a quantity. If you weren't sure if you did it right, you could FOIL, use the little f word, check your work. You should get x squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay, I know it looks super easy, and it really is. When a lead coefficient's 1, it's pretty simple. All right, here's a trinomial. I check for a GCF. I don't see one other than 1. Pulling out a 1 doesn't do me any good, so I won't do it. I'm going to list the factors of 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And notice how they meet in the middle. They won't always meet exactly in the middle, but I can narrow down my choices. The 12 is positive. I'm going to add. I need to add 2 factors to get 7. Well, wouldn't 3 plus 4 be 7? Now some of you are going, wait a minute, Mr. Lawrence, that 7's negative. That's okay, because when there's a minus in the front and a plus in the back, it's a Wendy's double stack. All it means is my 2 numbers are going to be negative. And here's how it's going to factor. I'm going to go x minus 3 as a quantity and x minus 4. In other words, when the plus is in back, this negative shows up in both quantities. When there was a plus in the back, this positive showed up in both quantities. See it? Okay. So if the last term is positive, you can use the term on the sign on the middle coefficient in both quantities. Let's do one more like that. All right, I'm going to list the factors of 20. I'm going to get 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 3 doesn't go in, 4 and 5. 20 is positive. I'm going to add 2 factors to get 9. Well, 4 plus 5 is 9. I'm going to use the negative sign in both quantities, x minus 4 and x minus 5. And again, if you weren't sure if you did it right, you could use the little f word, FOIL, and then check your solution. All right? Okay, guys, I think I'm good at foiling, factoring things with the lead coefficient of 1. I'm even faster at it. All right, let's see here. This time, on problem 4, we have a negative in back. I'm going to start the same way. List my factors of 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 4 doesn't go in, 5 and 6. But since this is a minus, I'm going to subtract, and I've got to get positive 1 in this case, because there's a 1 right there, right? Okay, So what would be the subtraction problem that would give me, is it 10 minus 3, 2 minus 15? What would give me a positive 1? Well, a 6 minus a 5. Now here's how simple this is. We're still going to have an x starting off each quantity. We need what kind of 6? A positive 6. And then we need a negative 5. Bam, I am done. That's when there's a minus in the back. The minus in the back. By the way, the larger the two factors will get this sign. The 6 got the sign. Yeah, the larger the two factors will get the sign. Okay, let's see here. Oops, I didn't give myself a whole lot of room there. Let's see if I can move these up. Let me Control G and group them, and I love my smartboard technology. There we go. Now I got a little bit of room to do some work. Okay, I got a minus right here. I'm going to list the factors of 48. 1 and 48, 2 and 24. 3 is going to go in. How do I know? Well, 4 plus 8 is 12, and 3 goes into 12. I believe that's going to be 16 times. 4 is going to go in. Hey, 4 times 2 is 4, so 24. Divided by 2 is 12. Notice that I multiply by 2, and then I divide by 2. Okay, 5 does not go in. 6 goes in 8 times. They didn't meet in the middle, but they're pretty close. All I have to check is 7, and 7 does not go into 48 evenly. Okay, that 48 is negative, and so I need two factors of 48 that subtract to get negative 2. Well, let's see here. How about 6 minus 8? Yeah, 6 minus 8 is negative 2. So here are odd factors. I got two quantities, both with x. I need a positive 6 and a negative 8. And notice the larger the two factors got the middle coefficient. Sign, that is. There you go. All right, number 6. Again, still checking for GCFs, only see one. List the factors of 90. 1 and 90. 2 and 45. 3 and 30. 4 is not going to go in. 5, let's see, how many times is 5 going to go into 90? Got a little mental blank there. I want to say it's 14, but I'm not feeling secure about it. No, it's 18. There we go. Wasn't enough. Sorry. Okay, 6 might go in. 2 and 3 both go in. Yeah, I think 6 is going to go in 15 times. Like if I double 3, I get 6, so I cut 30 in half. 7's not going to go in. 8 won't go in because 4 didn't go in. 9's going to go in 10 times, and they met in the middle. All right. The 90 is negative. I need to subtract. I need to subtract two factors of 90 that get 43. Well, negative 43. Wouldn't that be 2 minus 45? Yep. X plus 2 in one quantity, x minus 45 in another. And that is a 45, not a 95. Okay. And the larger of the two gets the coefficient from the middle. The 45 is larger than 2, so it gets the negative. Okay, if it was a plus there, then the 45 would get the positive. All right, here's 2. Now I got to warn you, these do have GCFs. Make sure you pull them out. So let's see, I think the GCF is going to be 3. So I pull out a 3, being left with x squared plus 6x plus 8. Now I list the factors of 8. I have a smaller number to work with, 2 and 4. There's a plus back here, so I'm going to add. I need to add to get 6. Well, it'll be 2 plus 4. And remember, that's the Wendy's double stack. I'm going to have a 3 out front, an x plus a 2, and an x plus a 4. And wow, this is magical. It's so easy. It's so easy it should be a crime. But I'm going to rewrite that 4 because it doesn't really look like a 4. There you go. Now there's no argument. Okay, looking for a GCF here. I think I see a 7. Going to divide by 7 all the way through. 7 in front of the quantity x squared minus 5x minus 50, I believe. Okay, going to list the factors of 50. 1 and 50, 2 and 25. 3 is not going to go in. 4 is not going to go in. 5 will go in 10 times. 6 isn't going to go in. 7, 8, 9 aren't going to work. There we go. Got all my factors. The 50 is negative, so I need 2 factors of 50 that subtract to get negative 5. 5 minus 10. So my answer is 7 times the quantity of x plus a 5 and an x minus a 10, and I am done. All right, you might want to watch this again. I think it's really simple. Just follow it step by step what you need to do, and we'll get some practice with this tomorrow in class. All right, Mr. Lawrence signing off. Good night, everybody.